Aiden Thornby writes, "Hey AMC Movie Talk crew, what are your biggest fears for Batman versus Superman?"
Well, okay, so generally speaking, I like everything I've heard. I mean, I would have preferred, I've said this before, I would have preferred that they just focus on Batman and Superman, period. But, you know, I don't mind adding more characters as long as you keep their roles small and expand on them later. My biggest concern right now is obviously it's the Gal Gadot situation, right? It's not like this guy that they got to play Cyborg, who no one's ever heard of him, but they got this dude from Broadway. This guy is a kid who's been training and acting his whole life and is good enough to be on stage in Broadway. So they went with talent. I'm still concerned about the Gal Gadot thing. What little stuff she's been in, she hasn't been very good. She's only been attempting to act for just a couple of years. Her whole adult career so far has been modeling and nothing else. And now to give her the most iconic female role in the history of film, like hero role at any point in the history of film, to me is concerning. I'm concerned. But that doesn't mean it can't work. Throw up a half-court shot, you'll probably miss. It's a dumb idea, but it might go in. And all I can do now is cross my fingers and hope that Zack Snyder really knocks it out of the park with her and she gives us a great Wonder Woman. There's nothing left for me as a fan to do, but that remains to this day my #1 concern about that. Why they didn't go and get a real actress for Wonder Woman is beyond me, but let's hope it works. Dennis, what would be your fear about Batman vs. Superman?
It's kind of more like along the lines of Spider-Man 2, just a lack of focus. Like just having all these moving parts. And yes, it can work, but sometimes it doesn't. Where they just like, oh, we need to cross off this off the checklist, this off the checklist. And then it becomes more about setting up a sequel than it is about telling a story. And that's, you know, we've seen that in the past, and hopefully it doesn't happen with this one.
Shep, what would be your concerns?
My concerns is Jason Momoa as Aquaman. When are they going to announce that? Bam! What's up? I don't really have any concerns. I'm actually really psyched to see this movie. My biggest concern is, like, will I live long enough for the 2 years? Those are my concerns. Like Star Wars, I just want to live to see Star Wars Episode 7. Then I can die. But oh wait, there's an 8th one. Yeah. No, I must live. You know, so I hope I live long enough to see, you know, Batman versus Superman and all the friends that they chuck in there to create Justice League.
Mary?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to this, particularly since that Batman picture came out. Not the sad Batman meme, but the thing before.
The actual Batman
I do like that though, but I love the look of it. I love that they went like Frank Miller style and dark, and it doesn't have any nipples. It's doing it for me. I'm happy with that. So I hope
think he has nipples under the costume.
Well, yes, but the costume itself doesn't have. Right. I always thought that was weird.
Bruce Wayne shaves those off.
I had them replaced.
I'm excited for what, you know, the Zack Snyder feel, because I actually liked Man of Steel. I know a lot of people didn't. I really liked it. I liked the moodiness of it. And I liked that it was dark and that it was grounded in more of something real. I hope he kind of continues that feeling for this movie. But I agree with you, Dennis. I'm a little concerned that they're trying to kind of keep up with Marvel, so they might like do this mad dash to the finish line to include everything to create a big franchise, and that might cost the film some real depth and story.
All right.
I would say, as an addition to that, but looking at what Sony did with Spider-Man, they might back up a little bit and be like, ho, look, by trying to cram so much into one movie.
It's a little late for that. They're already shooting.
Right, but they could be like, hey, let's cut that scene for the DVD. You know, they could still jumble things around.
All right, what's next?
Dead James writes, "Who would you like to see in the X-Men movie franchise that has not been in any of the movies so far?"
The only one I would say off the top of my head is Bishop, but we know he's coming in this. Bishop has been one I've been waiting to see, so I'm glad he's going to be there, and that's one for me. Dennis.
Cable. I think Cable's an interesting character, and he fits in with the Apocalypse storyline.
Schnapp?
I would say villain-wise, I'd like to see Sauron or Mojo.
Yeah, I still want to see Mr. Sinister.
Mr. Sinister, but I think he's coming.
I hope you're right.
My guess is like that those guys are all going to be in this next.
Yeah. We're gonna go see X-Men tomorrow night. It's then. So yeah, Mary, who are you looking forward to seeing?
I don't really know the world.
Oh,
so
that's right.
I'm not really like an X-Men person. I just I hope that whoever they choose just fits in with the world in the cinematic version well.
All right.
Because they have so much to choose from.
What's next?
Ricky Williams writes, "Hello AMC M Talk. Could we see Dustin Hoffman reprise his role as Captain Hook in the new Pirates of the Caribbean 5 movie?"
No. No.
No.
No.
What?
Remember, Dustin Hoffman was Hook in the movie Hook. Will he
But
be
that was
Hook?
a Spielberg.
I know, it was a totally different franchise.
universe, fool.
And it was 1992, and he's like 30 years older or whatever, 20.
I mean, that doesn't mean he couldn't still play Hook. It's just that, no,
He'd be a very
they're
old
not going to
Hook.
put Hook in.
And is this Ricky Williams, the football player?
I was going to ask, is this the former running back of the Canadian Football League and the NFL? Okay. All right, what's next?
Michael Parker writes, from the many comic book movies out there, what are some of your favorite scenes?
Oh, that's not one you can't answer that off the top of your head. That's one I'd like to sit down for a half hour and really think them out. There's lots in the X-Men, lots in the Avengers. I mean,
Dark Knight.
Dark Knight's got great ones too. No, it's like, what are your 20 favorite cinematic shots?
Yeah.
Put them in order.
Right.
Descending order.
Off the top of my head,
Right
I
now.
love in Batman Begins when he first tries out the tumbler in that underground room, and he's
yeah.
like driving it, and he's like, "How much is this? I want it." Like, I love that part, but that's just off the top of my head. I don't know.
Off the top of my head, I'm Batman.
Yeah. All right, what's next?
Dave Coca writes, what are your thoughts about theaters in Canada charging an extra $2 to $3 a ticket to sit in the middle section of a theater?
I got to be very careful how I answer this. And it's some theaters in Canada that, like, for prime, look, if you go to anything that requires you to have seating, whether it's on an airplane, you want the best seats, you pay a higher price.
Yeah.
If you go to a concert, you want the closer seats, you pay a higher price. You go to a football game, you want to sit right behind the bench, you pay a higher price. Same as in everything. So in general, the concept of paying a premium price for the best seat in the house, in other words, you're paying less than that guy behind you. If you walk into the theater a little bit late and you got to sit in the nosebleed seat or in the seat where you're going to break your neck looking up, there's something to that. But I'm only okay with it if you're going to then slightly reduce the prices of the poorer seats. Like if you're charging I think the average price in the United States right now is like $7.50. So if you're going to charge $7.50 for a ticket, if somebody's got to sit in that front row and do this, charge them 50 cents less, charge them $1 less.
What about
That's
the
only way
front
I'm
row
okay with it.
all the way to the left where you're basically
like
looking at a
this.
trapezoidal screen? Your neck is breaking and the screen looks like really weird.
And hopefully a lot of theaters nowadays, they
awful.
back their seats
do.
up from the screen,
A lot
so
of them
even
do.
those aren't terrible anymore,
Right.
but still they're the worst seats in the house. In theory, I'm okay as long as, while you're increasing the price for some seats, as long as you're decreasing the price for some of the others. But like I said, this is not my field of expertise, so I don't want to babble too much. And you guys, any input at all?
I mean, as a movie goer, of course, I don't want the ticket prices to increase, but to your point, I think it makes sense. We have to pay a premium for things that are better. That's just life.
Well, listen here, you Canadians. Here in America, we just have a flat fee for all the seats, but you can get an assigned seat if you get there early. I don't know how they do these things here in Canada. You Canadians can answer that.
We just heard John Schnepp's real voice. This whole time he's been a character.
That's right.
And that's his real
My
voice.
script, yeah, I'm off script right now.
Okay, let's do one more real quick.
Okay, Savannah Hill writes, greetings from Kansas. What is a movie genre you want to see more of?
Ooh, I know that.
I want to see more mystery films. Like seriously, the last number of years, I feel like there's been a real dip in the amount of like really good mysteries. Not ones that don't show you what happens in the beginning and then you just follow the detective as the detective tries to figure it out. But I'd like to see good mysteries, Naz.
Sci-fi. I mean, they're starting to because
Yep.
of visual effects. But, maybe 10, 15 years ago, they weren't doing much sci-fi. So.
Shut up.
Yeah, I was going to say like film noirs and science fiction, pretty much a similar bent. Like I love old film noirs. I'm not saying like, what's going, back with the fedoras. But
What's
just
wrong
like,
with that?
Nothing, but I'm saying maybe like a bunch of new kind of adult suspense thrillers would be awesome.
Mira, what do you want to see more of?
Well, it won't happen because they just don't make money, but I would love to see some really good classic westerns come back. There aren't that many, and even like 3:10 to Yuma I really loved.
yeah.
And
I
it just,
love 3:10 to
it just
Yuma.
I don't think it did that well from my understanding. Maybe I'm wrong, but I just feel like
did okay.
Did it do okay? I just feel like people don't make them because they don't typically perform, and it's too bad because I love westerns.
Right.
Hey everyone, if you liked this video, click that thumbs up button and make sure to subscribe to our AMC Movie News YouTube channel. It's free and helps you stay up to date with all the latest movie news, as well as our daily AMC movie talk show. Also, make sure that you follow us on Facebook and Twitter to stay up to date with all of our special promotions, contests, and prize giveaways.